Yeah, good evening. So in the previous class, we are just looking at the security, identity, and this compliance, and I think we have covered till this inspector. So today we'll just go with the remaining services under this security, identity, and this compliance. So Amazon Maze. So this Maze is a data visibility security service that helps classify and protect sensitive and business critical content. So here, what you can actually discover your data, classify the data, and protect the data. So coming to this discovery, it is a continuously and automatic. So this discovery continuously and automatically monitor the location and movement of your data. So coming to this classification, this you feel confident that your business intellectual property is understood at all times in machine learning based data classification. Coming to protection, so this automate compliance, detect unauthorized access, and avoid inadvertent data leaks through customizable alerts. So, yeah. As we can see documentation here, so this means is a security service that uses a machine learning to automatically discover, classify, and protect sensitive data in AWS. So this means recognizes sensitive data such as personally identifiable information or intellectual property and provides you with dashboards and alerts that give visibility into how this data is being accessed or moved. So as of now, Mace is supported in only these following regions, that is this US West and US East, that to the Oregon and Northern Virginia. Coming to this feature of Amazon is that is this data discovery and this classification. So this maze enables you to identify critical data and analyze access patterns and user behaviors. So it continuously monitor new data in your AWS environment, use artificial intelligence to understand access patterns of historical data. So and automatically access user activity applications and service account. Use natural language processing methods to understand data intelligently and accurately assign business values to data and prioritize business critical data based on their unique organizations. And it lets you and it creates your own security alerts and custom policy definitions. Coming to this data security. Amazon Maze enables you to be proactive with security compliance and achieve preventive security. So agents identify and protect various data types, including PSI, regulatory documents, API keys, and securities. So this verify compliance with automated logs that allow for instant auditing. Identify changes to policies and access control lists. Observe changes in user behavior and receive actionable alerts. Receive notifications when data and account credentials leave protected zones. So, and detect when large quantities of business critical documents are shared internally and externally. Coming to the pricing part, pricing in Maze is based on content, source classified, or procedure or process. So for detailed information about Maze pricing, you can go check the pricing page. And when it comes to this accessing page, accessing Maze, so you can work with Maze in any of the following ways. So like you can sign into this AWS console, AWS management console, and then just open the Maze console, and or the console is a browser-based interface to access use Maze. So that's the working with Maze. So it processes multiple types of content sources, and for different types of content sources, the billing also varies. So it depending on your type of data. So depending on the data which is being processed for you, the billing part is actually done. And when it comes to this AWS organizations, so this AWS organizations enables you to centrally apply policy-based controls across multiple accounts in AWS Cloud. So coming here, this AWS organizations enables you centrally apply policy-based controls across multiple accounts in your AWS Cloud. So that means you can create, you can create accounts of this profiles in your cloud for your organization based on this policy or control. The main parent control and the policy basing part will be given to you. So you can consolidate all your AWS accounts into an organization and arrange all AWS accounts into distinct organizational units. So here, once after you click on this create organization, you have to create this account. So you can invite existing AWS accounts to join your organization or create new accounts based on your needs. Coming to organizing accounts. So model your organization by defining one or more organizational units that best represents your business requirement. And coming to this policies, you can assign a policy to your organization unit or individual AWS accounts. So just looking at features of this AWS organizations. So the first one automatically of your organization. So that automatically a part of your organization. You can invite other accounts to join your organization, or you can also can attach policies that affect some or all of your accounts. And coming to this consolidated billing for all the member accounts. So this billing is a feature of AWS organization. You can use the master account of your organization to consolidate and pay for all the members' accounts. So here what actually happens is when once after you create this organization, right? So once after you created this organization, you will be adding members or adding these accounts for your members. So whatever the billing which is tracked on the usage of your employees or the people in your organization, you can pay all those from the master account. That is this organization's account. And hierarchical grouping of your data of your accounts to meet your budgetary, security, and compliance needs. So you can group your accounts into organizational units, that is your OUs, and attach different access policies to each OU. So for example, if you have accounts that must be accessed only with the AWS services that meet certain regulatory requirements, you can put those accounts into one OU. You can then attach a policy to that OU that blocks access to servers that do not meet those regulatory requirements. So you can nest organization units, that is OUs, within other OUs to a depth of 5 levels, providing flexibility in how structure your account groups. And the next feature is control over this. So the next feature is control over these AWS services and API actions that each account can access. So as an administrator of the master account of an organization, you can restrict which AWS services and individual API actions that users and roles in each member account can access. So it is giving you this apparent control over all the services and the APIs and all the roles. So this restriction even overrides the administrators of the member accounts in organization. When AWS organizations blocks access to a service or API actions for a member account, a user or role in that account can't access any prohibited services or API actions. Even if an administrator of the member account explicitly grants such permissions in an IAM policy, organization permissions overrules the account permissions. So once after you have updated the policies or the restrictions and all, even still if they are overpassing or overruling the account permissions, even if they are trying to manage, like if, even if they're trying to use that resources or something. This organization, so simply there are this permission overrules the account permission. And the next feature is integration and support for AWS Identity and Access Management. So IAM provides granular control over users and roles in individual accounts. So this AWS organizations expand their control to the account level by giving you control over what users and roles in an account or a group of accounts can do. The resulting permissions are the logical intersection of what is allowed by AWS organizations at the account level. So what permissions are explicitly granted by IAM at the user or role level within that account. So in other words, the user can access only what is allowed by both the AWS organization policies and the IAM policies. If either blocks an operation, the user can't access that operation. So in a simple words, what they are telling us is uh, in order to use any operation or any service, both the AWS organization policies and the AM policies must agree with it. That is, they don't have to object them. So then only they can go, then only they can go for that operation of the task. Integration with AWS services. You can enable select AWS services to access accounts in your organization and perform actions on the resources in the account. When you configure another service and authorize it to access your organization, AWS organization creates an IAM service link role for that service in each member account. The service linked role has predefined IAM permissions that allows other AWS services to perform specific tasks in your organization and its accounts. For this to work, all the accounts in an organization automatically have a service linked role that enables these AWS organization services to create the service linked roles required by the AWS services for which uh, you enable this trusted access, and the additional service linked roles come with the policies that enable the specified service to perform with other AWS services. And coming to this data replication that is eventually consistent, AWS organizations, like many other AWS services, is eventually consistent. So AWS organizations achieves high availability by replicating data across multiple servers in AWS data centers within the region. If a request to change some data is successful, the change is committed and safely stored. However, the change must then be replicated across the multiple servers. So coming to this accessing AWS organizations, you can work with the organizations in any of the following ways. So this AWS Organization Console is a browser-based interface that you can use to manage your organization and your AWS resources. You can perform any task in your organization by using just this console. So you also have this command line tools where you can, this provides the two sets of command line tools. The first one is AWS command line interface, and the other was for Windows PowerShell. And coming to the next service, that is this SSO, that is Single Sign On. So AWS Single Sign On is a cloud service that makes it easy to manage SSO access to multiple AWS accounts and business applications. So when you enable this SSO, you allow it to create IAM rules for each AWS account in your organization. So you have to first set up and manage SSO across all your AWS accounts in your AWS organization, business application, and custom SAML 2.0 based applications. And assign SSO access to users and groups in your corporate Microsoft Active Directory. You can and you should use a personalized end user portal to give users easy access to these AWS accounts and business applications you have authorized. So as you can see here, it's easy SSO management for your AWS organizations, where you grant access to your AWS accounts and any business applications that support SSO using SML 2.0. Users simply sign in and wants to be personalized user portal using the directory credentials and can then access all their assigned applications without additional sign-in prompts. So firstly, you have to enable this AWS SSO. So set up your AWS organization, then enable the AWS SSO in the AWS Management Console, and then connect it with your corporate identity. So connect your computer active directory, that is your AD, using this AWS directory service. And then grant this SSO access to your accounts and applications. So that means you have to grant AD user and group SSO access to AWS accounts and this business applications. And finally, manage user permissions centrally. So as you have the major control or the parent control of this organization, as you're having this organization account, so you can assign and maintain user permissions across your AWS accounts. So easy integration with the commonly used business applications. You can see all this here. And coming to this AWS Certificate Manager, that is this ACM. So this makes it easy to provision, manage, deploy, and renew this SSL TLS certificates on the AWS platform. And when it comes to this provisioning certificates and private certificate authority. So coming to this provisioning certificates, this provide the name of your site, establish your identity, and let the ACM do the rest. So ACM manages renewal of SSL TLS certificates issued by Amazon or by your own private certificate authority. And coming to this private certificate authority, you or your IT administrator can establish a secure managed infrastructure for issuing and revoking private digital certificates. So private certificates identify and secure application service devices and users with an organization. So, for seeing this certificate manager, so ACM handles the complexity of creating and managing this public SSL and TLS certificate for your AWS based websites and applications. So you can use public certificates provided by the ACM or the certificates you can import into the ACM. So these ACM certificates can secure multiple domain names and multiple names within a domain. You can also use this ACM to create wildcard SSL certificates that can protect an unlimited number of subdomains. So this ACM is tightly linked with AWS Certificate Manager, private certificate authority. So you can use this ACM PCA, that is this private certificate authority, to create a private certificate authority. So that is a CA. And then use this ACM to issue these private certificates. So these are this SSL or TLS X5.9 X.509 certificates that identify users, computers, application services, servers and other device internally. So these private certificates cannot be publicly trusted for more for more information. You can also use this ACM to export a private certificate encrypted private key to use anywhere. So, and the one thing which you have to consider here is you cannot install a public ACM certificate directly onto your website or your application. You must install your certificate by using one of these services integrated with the ACM and ACM PCA. For more information about this, you can just go with the link and yeah. So here, as we discussed recently for these organizations, so in order to maintain these organizations, you will be generally creating the directories based on the based on your requirement and all. So here in this directory services, it will be showing you all the directories which you which you have created or which always the organization has given to you. So as of now, I don't have any directories yet, so it's not showing me any directories. So I'm coming to this directories shared with me. There are, as I'm not into any AWS organization, there are no directories which are shared with me. So in this cloud directory, we have this directories and schemas. So when you have a look at this, we'll have a look at this directories and schema. So in this directories, we like it will show you any directories which you have previously created, or you can just if you want to create, you just click on the setup this directory using this cloud directory or Cognito or Microsoft AD, and also this simple AD or this AD connectors and all. So AD is nothing but this active directory here. And if you just have a look at the schema are a collection of attributes that defines what objects can be created in your cloud directory. A single schema can be applied to more than one directory at a time. So during its life cycle, a schema changes states. So when a new schema is uploaded, it is set to development state. By default, when that schema is ready to be applied to a directory, you can convert it to the public state and associate a version with it. So here you it shows you this person, organization, and device here, right? So so here what it actually tells you is if you deal with this person, it will be showing you here, right? All the things depending all the things attached base of this person. And if you go with this organization, it will be showing you the parent system thing, that is this ID, name, telephone number, descriptions, and the legal entities and all. And if you go with this device, it will be showing you this parent system first. That is this device version, device OS type, device status, device ID, name, description, and all. So coming to this WAF, that is this Web Application Firewall and AWS Shield helps protect your AWS resources from the web exploits and DDoS attacks. So this AWS WAF is a web application firewall service that helps protect your web applications from common exploits that could affect this app availability, compromise security, or consume excess resources. And coming to this AWS Shield, AWS Shield provides expanded DDoS attack protection for your AWS resources, where you get 24/7 support from our from AWS DDoS response team and detailed visibility into DDoS events. And coming to this firewall manager, so this firewall manager simplifies your AWS WAF administrator and maintenance tasks across multiple accounts and resources. And the last one is AWS Artifact. So what actually is this AWS Artifact? So this it features a comprehensive list of access controlled documents relevant to compliance and security in the AWS cloud. So here we have this APRA CPG 234 workbook. So this is for the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, management of risk, security risk in information technology is intended as a reference and supporting document to assist customer in their own in their own preparation for the compliance renew with this APRA. The primary audience of this workbook are the people who work in risk, security, or compliance for a regulated financial institution. So similarly, you have this many artifacts here. So based on your requirement or depending on your situation, on what circumstances you are working, you can actually go with this artifacts which suits you. So yeah, that is what this security identity and compliance is. So we have covered this. What is this IAM, Cognito, and the Secret Manager, this Guard Duty Inspector, and Amazon Maze, and also this organizations, how this organization works, and how to manage people in the organizations or how to add people in these organizations, and similarly how to set up the permissions and permissions or the the regulatory rules and all. So yeah, that's it for this security identity and compliance. And in the next classes, we'll just go with the simple things, that is remaining simple ones, that is your cost management, mobile service, ARV application, customer engagement, productivity. So in this productivity, we have this Alexa and all, desktop and live streaming, Internet of Things, and also this Amazon game development. So yeah, thank you.
Meeting, huh?